Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My brothers and sisters, I want to talk to you today about an idea whose time has come. And the name of that idea is the Standard Bearers Academy, the SBA. Our situation today as Muslims, we are like a ship which is caught in a storm, being battered by waves from all sides, ocean currents, gale force winds, rocks waiting for the ship to land on them to smash it. At times like this, which I call forking times in history, such times are characterized by turmoil, due to which the foundations of the structures of society are shaken. But that's a good thing, because for that very reason, for a very short span, it is given into the hands of ordinary people to change the direction of destiny. I believe very seriously that today we as Muslims are living in such a time. We are living at a forking time in history. And the decisions that we take, you and I, will chart for the future of this ummah what that future is going to be. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the wisdom to do that which is beneficial for the ummah of Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and that which is pleasing to him subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are 4 critical requirements for us to succeed. Number 1 is to have a complete workable solution. Number 2, to have a clear strategy to achieve that solution. Number 3 is total commitment to implement that strategy. And number 4 is necessary resources. And that is why I am coming to you to ask you whether you are willing to partner with us in doing something that has the potential to be a never-ending source of khair for us in this dunya and the akhirah. And do remember, my brothers and sisters, I remind myself and you that results are proportional to investment. Question: how many times have you lamented that Muslims are enslaved and backward, and they used to be world leaders in technology, but that was 300 years ago, and Muslim society today is ridden with all sorts of social evils and inequities? How many times have we had this drawing room conversation? My question to you is, are you content with talking about this in your drawing rooms, or would you like to change all of this? If the answer is that you would like to change all of this, then listen to me for the next 10 minutes. We today, the Muslim Ummah, are like people who own a library of automobile engineering books. We walk every day to the library, we read books all day, and in the night we walk home. Doesn't that strike you as very strange? Why are people who know all about automobile engineering walking? The reason they are walking is because we need to create a car factory. We need to convert this knowledge of automobile engineering into practical reality, which makes winners in the world. I want to say to you that ideology plus methodology plus tools, this is the formula for success. Our ideology is the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our methodology is the sunnah of Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The tools are tools that have to be created and invented and reinvented from age to age, from time to time, to make this ideology and methodology applicable in action in that particular time. And that is where we are headed. Why the SBA? We believe that the Muslim Ummah needs change critically and urgently. Both things. It needs the change critically, and it needs it yesterday. It needs it right now. And the best way to bring about this change is to prepare a new generation with the right vision and the right values. The SBA is a step in that direction to give role models to the world. I remind myself and you of the hadith of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, which is in Ibn Majah, where Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Bada al-Islam ghariban wa sayaudu ghariban kama bada fatuba lil ghuraba." He said Islam began as something strange, and it will return to being considered something strange. So give glad tidings of Jannah to the people who the world will call strangers. My question to you, my brothers and sisters, is, are you ready to become strangers in this world? Because if the answer is yes, then rejoice in the fact that your Nabi and my Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam gave us the glad tidings of Jannah to the people the world will call strangers. Why strange? Because in the world which is filled with corruption, someone who stands for integrity will be called a stranger. In a world that is filled with oppression, somebody who stands against oppression will be called a stranger. In the world which is filled with lies and deception, somebody who stands for the truth will be called a stranger. In the world which is filled with cruelty and with lack of compassion, somebody who stands for kindness and somebody who stands to uphold the people who are oppressed will be called a stranger. We need strangers in this world like we need air to breathe. My brothers and sisters, there are people who plan and there are people who don't plan. The people who have been serious about global leadership have invested unstintingly in it for centuries. I'm not talking about years or decades, I'm talking centuries. I will give you the example of two schools. Harrow, started in 1572 by Royal Charter of Queen Elizabeth I. Eton started almost 100 years before that, 1440, by Royal Charter King Henry VI. Ask yourself, why are the King and Queen of England starting schools? Kings are supposed to build palaces. Why are they starting schools? Because they're serious about global leadership. Look at the old boys list of these two schools and you will recognize names there in business, in industry, in education, in every field in the world. Eton and Harrow together have given 27 British Prime Ministers alone. And almost anyone in any country, in any position of power and authority has come from one of those schools. There are people who plan and people who don't plan. Question to ask you is this. 3 questions. Number 1, in your opinion, who will be sitting in the boardrooms of multinational corporations tomorrow directing global policy? Muslims or non-Muslims? Number 2, who will be behind global political leadership tomorrow? Muslims or non-Muslims? Number 3, who will direct the curricula, the policy of global universities, charities and media, parliaments and senates in the world tomorrow? Muslims or non-Muslims? Final bottom line question. Who do you want it to be? Global leadership, my brothers and sisters, is not an accident. It doesn't just happen. Global leadership is the result of investing thought and time and resources, not once, consistently in pursuit of a vision that spans generations. Do think about that. It won't just happen if you sit in your home and want it to happen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides for the bird, but not in its nest. We have to go out there and do some work if we want to make this thing happen. And that is why the Standard Bearers Academy, because we believe that education is for life, not merely for a living. Today we are living in a world where education is judged by the amount of money you can make from the knowledge that you got. This is the worst definition for education. Education is for life. It's for changing the way society lives. It's for helping the poor. It's for alleviating the suffering of people, whether they are Muslim or not. It's not only for making money. So what's our standard for the Standard Bearers Academy? Our standard is the standard that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us when He said to us in Surah Al-Ahzab, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ لِمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو اللَّهَ وَالْيَوْمَ الْآخِرَةَ وَذَكَرَ اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا. He said, you have indeed in the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam a beautiful pattern of conduct for anyone whose hope is in Allah and in the final day, and who engages much in the remembrance of Allah. That is the best example that the world has ever seen and the world will ever see. And we have had that example for 1400 years, except that we don't use it. And that's what we want to change. And we are saying that we want to make this example a walking, talking, living, visible, observable, demonstratable model, benchmark for the world to see. The core purpose of the Standard Bearers Academy is to make Islam visible in all its beauty, in all aspects of life for the whole world. I'm going to repeat that. The purpose of the Academy is to make Islam visible in all its beauty, in all aspects of life for the whole world. Imam Zuhri, the famous muhaddith, the teacher of Imam Malik, said that Islam spread very fast after Fatah Makkah, because for the first time the non-Muslim was able to see the life of an ordinary Muslim. Islam did not spread by lectures. Islam did not spread by the sword. Islam did not spread by anyone forcing anyone. Islam spread because people fell in love with Muslims. People fell in love with the way of Islam. People fell in love with the beauty of this deen. My brothers and sisters, it's my belief, and I ask you to believe that Islam will triumph in this world today in the same way it triumphed in the time of Rasulullah ﷺ, by the winning of hearts, by the winning of hearts, by making friends with people, by bringing people into our homes and showing them the beauty of Islam. And that is what the Standard Bearers Academy is designed to do. The academy is unique. It is a combination of 4 different things: an international school, an academy of applied Islam, a research center, and a teachers training college. Very quickly, we look at why these 4 things. Because we believe that to change society visibly and in a reasonable amount of time, we need a 3-pronged approach. We need to create a foundation which is a new generation of ethical and moral global leaders. We need to address emerging leaders by creating a global network of Muslim world leaders. And we need to engage current leadership and influence decision makers by presenting solutions to real problems in Islamic ways. And that's why the academy. The SBA International School, the Standard Bearers Academy International School, is a place where children will get the best possible education that is possible to get in terms of knowledge and technology. IGCSE and IBO syllabus, plus Tahfizul Quran and Islamic studies, Ulum al-Sharia, Arabic as the medium of instruction for the Islamic courses, English as the medium of instruction for the secular courses, one other European, African or Asian language for the sake of communication. Integrated teaching methodology, it's the methodology that we have invented. In one word, how can we bring Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala into the class? How can we teach the book of Allah and the Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam through science and biology and technology and through history and through geography and through social sciences and through political sciences and through business studies? How can we do that? We have created a methodology. I can't explain the whole thing to you in this video, but inshallah that will be available to anyone who is interested in it once the academy is up and running, because that is how Islam used to be taught. We forgot that. We fractured knowledge. We teach the book of Allah as if there is no creation, and we teach about the creation as if there is no Allah. This is a very, very major problem with the way education is handled today. Inshallah, in this academy, we will close this gap and teach so seamlessly that people's eyes and their hearts will open to the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through science and technology and through understanding about how this world was created and how it is run. In addition to all of this, because we want to create holistic, well-developed individuals, leadership development studies, Islamic values, tarbiyah, etiquette, sports, international exposure, inter-religious contact, and so on. Because remember, my brothers and sisters, values cannot be legislated. They must be inculcated, and that is why tarbiyah. Second institution in the SBA campus is the Academy of Applied Islam. Young achievers from all over the world, 21 plus, who have completed their tertiary education, educated in various disciplines, 1-year postgraduate course in applied Islam, focusing on 3 things: Muslim identity, Muslim character, leadership skills. Question to ask: how can I become a walking, talking model of the goodness of the Islamic way? And this is where we are looking at. A typical class of the Academy of Applied Islam will have doctors and engineers and airline pilots, and it will have people from all walks of life. It will have ulama, graduates from the greatest Islamic universities of the world, all sitting together in one class, creating a global network of Muslim leaders. When they go out of there, it will be like a starburst of stars in the sky, spread across the world, able to talk across national and racial and international boundaries by picking up the phone call and talking to their batchmate across the world, able to influence the world to create goodness everywhere that they live. Number 3, a research center with the mandate to do thorough, in-depth research and create concept papers and working models, very important, working models for emerging problems to the world's and provide solutions to the world for its emerging problems. Maybe sustainable economic development, maybe local community and international relations, maybe value-based education for social justice, and so on and so forth. The idea is to create working models and then send them to decision makers all over the world. Finally, a teachers training college, because naturally we need to teach those who have to teach in this way how to teach, and that is what the teachers training college will do. is to teach them how to mold a complete person through tarbiyah, because teaching, we believe, is much more than books. The SBA campus will have a masjid and a Quranic school. It will be a Jamia Islamiyah. It will be a madrasa, plus it will be a globally networked smart classrooms, gym, swimming pool, horse riding, international teaching staff and curriculum, hospital, conferencing, leadership development courses. In short, world-class education for a world-class center. The SBA is a madrasa, it is a jamia, it's a masjid, it's a Darut Tahfiz al-Quran, and it is a global international school combined together in one campus. Project overview, we are looking at a total investment of 13 million US dollars. That is 1,300 people paying $10,000 each. That's all it is. 1,300 Muslims who believe in the destiny of this ummah, willing to give $10,000 each. We are not asking for the money for ourselves. Alhamdulillah, none of us needs the money. All of us, alhamdulillah, have enough from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. None of us in the trust board of the organization and in the core group take any salary at all. We have been working for this and will continue working for this without any compensation from anyone in the world. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for reward. The money we are asking is for you and for your children and your grandchildren and for the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is something that we are also part of. And that's the reason we ask you, are you willing to invest this money? 10,000 US dollars, 1,300 people in a global ummah of 1.5 billion. I don't think that is a difficult task. Again, we are not saying that $10,000 is a minimum amount. You can give as much as you want. I'm just giving you, when you say 13 million, you might get scared. 13 million is 1,300 people paying $10,000 each. That's all it is. And that's where we are looking at. What will the school have? 1,200 students, 95 teachers and support staff in a period of 5 years. Teachers Training College will have 100 students and 10 teachers, and the Research Academy and so on and so forth. A 100-acre campus in Hyderabad, in India, because that is the cheapest and the best place to put this in for the time being. We want to create a pilot working model and show it to the world that this is doable, and then we will offer this free of cost, the technology, the know-how, to anyone, and you're welcome to take this to your countries and set it up there, and we'll help you to do that completely free of cost. But we have to start it somewhere, and that's why we are coming to you for this money. Our business model is very simple: one-time donation for capital expenditure, self-sustaining revenue model. We will not come back to you to run the place. The place will run itself. The surplus which will be created will be put into an endowment fund to give scholarships to poor students and for the ongoing maintenance and growth of the academy. Very simple model: donation for capital, self-sustaining revenue model, and it will inshallah last as long as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to make it last. Two basic principles: total quality and complete transparency. Now, brothers and sisters, we need people with vision, and we need people with heart, and we need people who believe in meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is the final product of this? I'll tell you my dream for this. My dream is that a student of this academy will one day become a cardiac surgeon, and when he is standing in the theater, and the hand in which he holds the scalpel will be the hand about which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Hadith Qudsi that I become the hand by which he holds. He said, my slave comes so close to me by his piety that I become the hand by which he holds. And this doctor, this surgeon, when he completes the operation, he will wash up, and this is a Jummah, and he will go into the masjid and he will deliver the khutbah for Jummah. This is what we are talking about: a mufassir who's a cardiac surgeon, a muhaddis who's a head of industry, a mufti who's an administrator and a governor, a hafiz who's a scientist. My brothers and sisters, we are talking about reclaiming our heritage of being thought leaders to the world. I ask you, are you interested? Are you going to do more than listen to this video? And that's the question. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we offer you an opportunity. Because we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He said, وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبْ وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and whoever has taqwa and fears Allah, Allah will make a way out of every difficulty for him, and He will provide him from sources that he could not imagine. And whoever puts his trust in Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will become sufficient for him. This may look like a big task, but it is not too big for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Question to you: are you willing to be an Ansari of the Standard Bearers Academy? Remember, Islam spread when the Ansar held the hand of the Muhajirun, and that is where we are talking about today, because the Ansar were the helpers of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. we're asking you, donate as much as you can. Go to our site, standardbearersacademy.com, www.standardbearersacademy.com, and see the entire the detailed presentation, and all details about the project are there. And please contact us to go forward. My brothers and sisters, this is a drop in an ocean, but remember, a tidal wave is a ripple magnified. A tidal wave is a ripple magnified. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.